wish I had like a Marvel shirt.
It'd be like this one.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Cinema Smoketography. I'm your friendly neighborhood hookahologyst, and after his long hiatus, he's back, guys. I'm not alone anymore.
What's up, everybody?
It's producer man Isaac joining us today for season 2. We dubbed this new year 2021. Already starting off to a great start. 2020 sequel.
2020 sequel.
Woo! So we were going to do Wonder Woman, but due to scheduling conflicts and my job, I'm probably going to do that one alone. But Isaac's joining me for the weekly update on Wanda Vision. Ooh, we did that perfectly.
All right.
Yeah, in sync. Oh, that's a good band. I missed you, buddy. How you been?
I've been alright. How about yourself?
So I woke up this morning, so pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, good starts. But WandaVision, the first phase 4 thing we're getting for the MCU. And it's
Interesting.
It's a comedy.
It's exactly what I thought it was going to be, and then some. And
Dude, it's so great.
And I enjoyed the hell out of this. It's different. It's very different.
I'll agree to that. Like it's a very good like the plot line. We get 30-minute episodes, so it's not like how they did The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
which I was thinking they were gonna do, and how like I've said this before in almost every Mandalorian review, they do the episode as long as the plot needs it, but this is so precise. We're getting what, 8 episodes or 9?
Oh, maybe 9, maybe?
I think we're getting 8 or 9 episodes, and they're 30 minutes each, so we're gonna get like a mini movie.
Yeah.
And we had to start with this because you couldn't have the Multiverse of Madness and Wanda Maximoff be a part of it without having to do WandaVision first.
Exactly.
I mean, you could, but it wouldn't make sense.
It really wouldn't make any sense at all.
So it makes sense to have this be the first Ash review, and then we're gonna get Falcon and the Winter Soldier in May.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
So that's coming next. But before we get into the actual talking of the episode, what are we smoking, Isaac?
We are currently smoking. What you get me?
Isaac, I packed a bowl, Isaac, of last month's flavor of the month, strawberry banana milkshake. It's half Eternal Smoke, half Banana Dolce, both by Eternal Smoke. I am smoking Foreplay on Peach because I got to get rid of it, and you know, Isaac, can't have Foreplay without peaches.
Yeah, you bet.
Goddamn right I'm right. There's only been a few times I was goddamn wrong. So WandaVision, it starts in the 60s, right? Like that's the kind of era they started in.
Yeah.
And they even said in the opening crawl they have it's a Dick Van Dyke show.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a mix of Dick Van Dyke and I Love Lucy.
Yes.
So you really get that aesthetic throughout the whole thing. And it was weird. The first episode was really establishing of what's going on. I love how like Vision and Wanda interact with each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like anybody who will first watch this is like tripping out, like what in the world is going on right now?
How is Vision alive? Where are they? Because they're in Westview.
Yeah.
A magical world where they all just... And it really plays into that real old school setting. Like if you look at the intro of the Dick Van Dyke show, they have a lot of wide shots of what they're doing. You see Wanda and Vision kind of just zooming into their new home and all the kinds of lunacy that happens. Wanda's dropped off as Vision phases through the door and just gets knocked out.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of establishing characters. Kitty comes back.
Yes. I was like, Miss Foreman!
Foreman!
Miss Foreman!
Do you think we're going to get Eric?
I don't think so.
Oh. Venom's not going to make a cameo? That's not fair.
Too soon.
Oh, not soon enough.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's very, very funny. Like in the first 3 minutes, we're just thrown in for a loop of what this mysterious August 23rd date was. I paused the show and I immediately went to Google and see if there was any kind of connection to it. There's not.
There's not at all. And I thought about it too. I was like, what came out on August 23rd?
I thought like some people were going to say like a D23 that came out in August. That's when they announced it. But I'm like, the dates don't add
And
up.
it turns out it wasn't even that. It was for the hearts.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. And it was...
There was a lot of innuendos in this show.
There's so many sexual innuendos, it's fucking hilarious. And it's just... the first episode really hit it home of how like Wanda's supposed to be, because we all seen the trailers. We all know Wanda's gonna end up having twins.
Yes.
The same kind of twins that we think they're gonna be that were in the comics. I forgot their names. The children of Mephisto.
Yeah.
And they really lean into that really hard.
Especially in the second episode.
In the second episode, not so much the first, because they're establishing everything. We get Agnes, which is we all believe is Agatha Hartman from the comics, who teaches Wanda how to use her chaos magic. Right? We get a couple glimpses of Sokovia, like the prison that Von Strucker had Wanda in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
So as I'm watching the show, right, and I'm looking at how, especially Wanda, I noticed that she still does not have her accent. And I don't know, it's just the thing that they're doing because...
So they're gradually just getting rid of that terrible accent.
It's like, I wouldn't say terrible, but I mean, at least she's supposed to have an accent. And I feel like my theory is this is also a way for her to get it back, because she's playing these housewife characters that are obviously not European.
Obviously.
So I feel like when she finally wakes up, like, out of whatever the hell's going on in her head,
yeah,
you could easily just slip her accent back in there without anybody really noticing.
I think they're going to do that towards the very end. She's going to have her accent, because they're doing Modern Family and how the modern day sitcoms is. So they're going to give her accent back eventually.
Right, and I just think about it, like, because it kind of little details like that, nitpicks like that. It's like, come on, she's supposed to have a European accent. And it went on and on about how she's European, but she sounds American.
Yeah, so it's because of that whole thing. And you notice, like, there's little nods of what's going on, and how Wanda is not trying to use her powers, and Vision's not supposed to be using his constantly, right? And you can see it when Vision goes to work. He's typing away, and he doesn't even know what he does. Like, what do we do here? We file. So, and it just kind of keeps going, and then keeps going and going when Agnes is with Wanda trying to figure out, like, how long you guys been married? Well, we've been married for a time, and everything else like that, and she's reading how to seduce her husband.
No, that was funny.
That was the best part.
Of the first episode.
That was a highlight. And it's so funny, like, when Vision comes home, like, oh, like, Wanda, where are you? And then she surprises Mr. Hart.
Yeah, with a very skimpy outfit. Not skimpy, but very
skimpy for that time.
50s skimpy.
Yeah.
Outfit.
For the time, it really fit.
Yeah, and I'm very periodic piece person. Like when stuff isn't accurate.
That's why I want you on these, because it's going to be very interesting how you see everything.
Well, it's the 50s, 60s maybe. I think
60s.
It's more 50s, to be honest.
I think it's like late 50s, early 60s.
Because like they're exaggerations of how they present themselves, and especially in early 50 TV shows where they're super highly energetic and always feel like they're fucking on drugs or drinking.
Yeah, they're on something.
Some high pitched ass voices and laughs and just over exaggerations of their mannerisms. And
Well, dear.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. Just like a nod to the original shows, like a sign of respect in a way. Paying homage. There we go. Paying homage.
Yeah, it's a very paying homage episode, each one, and it's just, you can see the similarities between the two, because we were talking a little bit before, like, I watched TV Land a lot growing up because I didn't know what cartoons were. Well, I knew what cartoons were, but you just channel surf as a kid. You're at home bored, like, watching, and you can see some of these things, and I've watched a couple old episodes of I Love Lucy, and you can see the difference between then and now.
Like when they did,
and they went to extreme detail to hit those notes, to make it seem like, yes, it is the MCU, but it's still periodically correct.
Yeah, and like I was saying, like, especially like the whole infomercial commercials in between the show.
Yes, I still need a Toastmate 2000.
And I shit you not, like the chick that was presenting the toast kind of reminded me of Lucy.
She looked like her.
Yeah.
I think that was the point.
Yeah.
It was so funny. The Toastmate 2000.
Yeah, presented by Stark Industries. And did you catch the little Easter egg of the
Hydra?
No, not the Hydra, but the besides the Hydra, but the Iron Man's
the repulsor blast.
Yeah, repulsor blast in the beginning
is ran by an arc reactor.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty sweet.
It was very interesting to see, like, how that kind of plays out into everything. We're seeing how all of this kind of fits in this little world of hers.
Yeah.
So the real big thing in the first episode is how Wanda's European, right? And they play it off at her coming into this outfit and surprising Mr. Hart was a Sokovian greeting. Yes, and it's like, oh, dinner should be done soon. Like, how am I gonna make a dinner super quick? And then Agnes comes in like, if I'm not a housewife with a full prepped meal waiting, I'm not a real housewife.
Yeah, and they went with the whole Sokovia origin, not
Not Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
That's Doctor Doom.
No, the one for Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he from again?
He's Jewish.
No, but he's from where?
I don't know. Eric Lencher. That's his name. So
yeah, I know, but I forgot where he's actually from. Because they went with the German thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fuck, I always forget what the fuck it's called. But anyways, they're going with the Sokovia thing, so I'm like, okay, well, it's a paying homage to,
right.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, exactly. They keep in continuity what's going on.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is that we're obviously gonna get the Multiverse of Madness. We all know that Wanda. It's being established that Wanda can now alter reality. Because how are you gonna get this little pocket dimension that she's making?
Yeah.
Right? Is she powerful enough to bring back Quicksilver?
Exactly.
Do you think so?
I think so. It's easy. It's not. I wouldn't say it's lazy writing, but it's easy at the same time to easily bring them back. Same way you can do with Vision too. Except, are you gonna being able to bring Vision back even though he's not actually a human being?
I think so, because the Russo brothers have explained that when Thanos destroyed the stones, the physical stones are gone, but the atoms and everything that they are still in the universe. So my theory is, since Wanda's powers come from the Mind Stone and unlock the mutant gene, right? Because they now established that the mutant genes in the MCU, it was awakened by the Mind Stone, just like Captain Marvel has her powers due to the Tesseract and the Space Stone. So, and they explain it in Infinity War. There's a whole lot of Vision left in there because they left his husk. I doubt that the people of Wakanda just leave it there, right? Because he didn't dust. He was physically there. So it could be that they reestablished Vision with whatever tech they had, and there's some part of him still there, but the stone, he found a way to rebuild the stone from the atoms because he's part of it. He's Ultron, he's Jarvis, and he's the Mind Stone. So it's possible that he's back and Wanda was found some way to bring him back.
Yeah, because if you notice, he didn't have the Infinity Stone on his forehead.
I could have sworn No,
he
doesn't.
He doesn't.
He does not. So Wanda they could have rebuilt Vision, and no one really knows how. And I'm sure we're gonna get an explanation soon of how Vision's still around because
that's the first thing I noticed when I looked at it. He doesn't have the imprint of the stone.
Yeah.
Even when he's human, he doesn't have the imprint of the stone
because he had the imprint of the stone when he turned human.
Yeah.
In Infinity War.
Yeah.
So that's a way they can bring him back because he's mostly machine.
Yeah.
They could have put him back in the cradle.
Yeah.
They could have. I don't know if they did, but still.
Yeah.
And now we have a more source of vibranium, so they can replace whatever's left with vibranium.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how they're gonna do that and how Vision's coming back, and Vision's probably gonna be. Paul Bettany's gonna be Vision for I wouldn't say a very long time, but for the continuation.
Yeah. But the thing about this too is that this is it's a very fun show from the first 2 episodes we've seen, but it's also very heartbreaking. Because
very dark.
It's very dark at the same time because of the fact that Wanda is in so much freaking pain that she is literally creating a whole world in her mind.
Yeah.
As you can see in episode 2, when she saw something that she didn't like, she literally rewounded it right back to where we're at, and that's how you knew this is all in her head.
Yeah, and it's very obvious at the end of each episode because I love how they end each episode. They're in front of the TV and they turn it on, right? And that's how and it phases out in Wanda Vision, the show, and you can see whoever's watching it. The people of Sword,
yeah,
the new Shield,
yeah,
which is interesting. I want to say because Sword in the comic books is the space branch of Shield. Well, Shield's only based on the Earth, but since Hydra ruined Shield,
is the Sword the one that's in space right now, the one that
Fury's on?
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Like he's running Sword, And that's why we have Talos playing as Nick Fury on the ground.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have Secret Invasion. So obviously, which is gonna be very interesting because you know that if you read the comics and you know about Secret Invasion, that the Skrulls are planning to take over. But when you see what they did in Captain Marvel, the Skrulls aren't evil. They're not trying to take over.
So it's like something completely different.
Yeah.
They changed up the origin story.
But what's not just because there's a certain branch of the Skrull race that is, friendly, doesn't mean all of them are. There's a reason why the Kree are getting rid of the Skrulls. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Put them more towards the end, yeah. Because that's way too much to the mound. Put this over here, so that would do it. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what's going to happen next. Because in episode 2, that's where we really see the wackiness kind of go on and what's being affected on the outside world. Because episode 1, we didn't see that.
Yeah.
And the first 2 minutes is Wanda, figuring out what the hell's going on. And you hear these bangs kind of going on everywhere of what's happening. So Wanda is like, okay, Vision, go check it out. It was a tree branch. The next time she hears it later on that day after they're done practicing for their magic show, you hear a couple knocking, and then Wanda goes outside to the rose bush. Her hedges.
Yeah.
Hedges. I get it now. It made the sense. So we see that Wanda, the first piece of color we see in the whole show is the helicopter. Now, I've been watching a lot of videos online. Everyone's theorizing that Wanda has the power to obviously manipulate everything. Anyone trying to come into her pocket reality is getting transformed into something else. Because Monica Rambeau came into the second episode. She doesn't know how she got there. She could have been on that helicopter.
Yeah.
Right? And she got ejected out. Well, the helicopter got turned into a toy. And you see the the sword logo and everything. And there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. Like the whole stuff turning into color is kind of like I told you. Like it reminds me of like that movie Pleasantville.
You know what it really reminds me of? It reminds me of. Have you ever seen the movie The Giver?
I've heard of it.
It's based on a book. I read it in high school a little bit.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the same kind of thing. Like you have the whole movie's in black and white, but there's only one guy. Everyone gets their own little thing in this world. So this guy known as the giver of knowledge, giver of whatever the fuck it was, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he's able to see color. And towards the end of the movie, everything goes from black and white to color.
Yeah.
So that's
kind of like the end of the episode.
Exactly. So that's how I saw it, because I watched The Giver and I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a very long time, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah. But as I was going with the whole Pleasantville thing, I've never personally seen it. From what I've seen from the trailer, though, it looks like it's the dose of it's black and white, but then you see color at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's.
Well, kind of like how Sin City did theirs. There's only like black and white, and only like.
Kind of like when the one chick, the one bossy lady, I forgot what her fucking name is. When she got cut by the glass, her.
Oh yeah, Dottie.
Yeah, Dottie. There we go.
Dottie, in that scene too, like you'll notice that they're playing the Beach Boys on the radio, and you can hear Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man asking Wanda what's going on. So I have an idea that Wanda is working with Sword.
Yeah.
Right? And she was sent in there because something's going on, something supernatural. And they thought, well, Wanda could probably figure this out.
Yeah.
So Wanda's probably in there, and they're all trying to figure out why Wanda hasn't come back.
Yeah.
And why they're sending Sword agents to go get her and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because in the second episode, they all do it for the children. Like a fucking cult.
Yeah, for the children, but yet you see absolutely no children whatsoever.
No, everyone talks about their kids.
Yeah.
But I don't see no kids.
And the only time you ever see any type of child is one that's in Wanda's belly. Magically appear out of nowhere.
Vision, is this happening? Vision? I have to take that out. That's weird. So, like, it is cult-like. And in the comic where Agatha was brought into it, she's working with Mephisto to get these children from Wanda. And they're not really her children, they're like, I guess, parts of Mephisto or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. So that could be the same kind of thing. And Agatha was like, she's my favorite character. She's so funny.
She's a trip.
She's a trip, and she's always talking about her husband that's not there. And then it brings the bunny Mr. Scratch, right?
Senor Scratchy.
Senor Scratchy, and there's a lot of like play for she's married to the devil.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we're gonna get Mephisto fairly soon. What if the beekeeper is Mephisto? Doubtful, but what if it is?
Yeah. Well, speaking of the beekeeper thing, do you know what that was about?
No, I think that the beekeeper is the main antagonist.
From what's really going on outside?
And yeah, and you notice a lot of they always end in a hexagon like a beehive.
Yeah.
Even in the opening of the second episode where they did Bewitched, the stars and the moon align in a hexagon form. So it could be that she's in her own hive, and she's like the queen bee, and everyone just kind of follows Wanda. Right? So that's the idea.
Yeah.
But Vision it's super funny to see Vision drunk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Paul Bettany had a blast doing that.
Oh, I would.
Trying to be just a robot the whole time, just so, bland. In a way, not bland, but...
He's so funny, and then, I love how the roles were reversed. Because you all think the women are gossiping when they get into their meetings, and the men are always doing whatever, like, getting shit done. It was completely reversed, and I thought it was hilarious. All the women are organizing super, super, on it. The men are like, those bowling trophies? I heard he bought them over a city over. So, and now we know they're in New Jersey. So Westview is going to be a trip. It's the Salem witch trials.
It could be anything at this point. There's like a lot of unanswered questions that we don't know yet, and we'll probably find out very soon. Mm-hmm. Based on how the way these episodes are going, I think they're going to be paying homage to every different type of show between the 50s and 60s, and maybe higher.
Because we seen Wanda do like Roseanne. I think the next one we're going to get like the Brady Bunch kind of thing. So, and then we're going to obviously end with Modern Family, and that's when we're going to see children. Because Vision goes on a Halloween trip in his original costume. So it's the things that are kind of interesting is how Monica Rambeau is going to play into this. Mm-hmm. So, and then how she's going to get ejected eventually. She's going to get too close, or she's going to reveal something of what's going on, and she's going to get sent out. Yeah. So that's the next thing. I think in the next couple episodes we're going to see, because they're releasing them 2 at a time, not once a week. Which is, I guess that's cool, but at the same time I'd rather them do it week by week.
I like The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought they were going to do, but they're doing something completely different.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see kind of thing, because it's one of those things where you really don't know what to expect and what's coming next.
Yeah. Based
on how things are going right now. Because I feel like now we're back in color, but yet we're back in color now. Mm-hmm. But we don't really know where we're going from here.
Exactly.
Because there's various ways they could go about it.
There is, and the infomercials are probably like the highlight. I wonder if they're going to keep going with them.
I believe they are.
Really?
Based on what I've read.
Oh, okay.
I think because it's a way of like putting in ads, but you're not really putting in ads. It's like I heard that people are gonna really enjoy seeing the little Easter eggs of what they do in the ads, mm-hmm. because you'll be seeing things that you normally would not see ever in an MCU like movie or TV show. Mm-hmm. It's like a way of sneaking things in for the fans.
It really is, and you know what? Now coming to like everything since Disney's acquisition of Fox. It's rumored that we're going to start maybe even getting the House of M storyline.
Which is basically, this is getting into that
kind of realm.
Yeah, because you see the Easter egg of the House of M on the wine bottle.
Mm-hmm. And you see that obviously Wanda could do whatever she wants, whatever she can, because she turned all of Vision's illusions that were real. He was using his real power. She magically made them tricks. So we're now establishing that Wanda is more powerful than she actually seems.
Yeah, and the thing about Wanda too, to me, is that this is the most we've seen of her actual powers.
Because all we've seen so far is her
using
it for telekinesis.
Telekinesis and manipulation of whatever she's doing to fight back or whatever.
Yeah, we've seen her in Age of Ultron. We've seen her use a glimpse of her mind control powers.
Yeah.
Right? But ever since then, we haven't seen it.
And she uses her powers, and the majority of the time she's getting her ass kicked. So, and here, like, they're using it as like a cheap parlor trick. Like, mm-hmm. Oh, she's just being
Exactly. She's just doing whatever is necessary for the.
That I
for the
didn't even
scene.
knew how to do in the first place, because it's never an explanation that she knew how to do that shit in the first place.
I think that's why. Like, I think that she went to Westview to seek out Agatha. That's what I think. That because she's a constant in this whole thing, right? And you see her little medallion first right here, and then like on the side. And I couldn't make out what it was, but she's using that as maybe like her constant in there. So she's using the charm or something else to use her magic to stay in there.
When she's like charmed, is that like a nod at charm?
Say what you want, bro. That's a good show.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, is that a nod at charmed?
I don't know, maybe.
Was she on Charmed?
No, I don't know. The old one or the reboot?
Talking about the old one.
Okay, good. Because I've watched Charmed a lot. I'm pretty sure, like, you know what? I hate that everyone's getting me all these chick shows. It's really starting to like bother me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been stuck on Gossip Girl. I'm not afraid to say it. I've watched Emily in Paris.
Okay.
I've binge watched Pretty Little Liars a handful of times because that's a good show.
Okay.
So, like when you're not here, I'm watching chick flicks.
Hey man, I ain't faulting you.
They're good shows, man.
Hey, you watch whatever you watch, dude. That's all good. I ain't judging you.
Thank God. Other people would.
Nope, not here. On cinema photography. We don't judge here.
I mean, I judge secretly, but not on camera.
And we're in a whole different problem.
Jackass. So the thing I want to see next is how they're going to bring mutants in, because I think this is what they're going to do. My theory is that we have two versions of Quicksilver, right? We have the MCU version, which for some reason he has it fast. He's fast enough to move people out of the way of a train, but he can't save himself getting shot by an airplane. Lazy writing. That's one. Two, we have the second, Fox's Quicksilver, right? So we could bring Pietro back from the MCU, or we can bring in, since this is all tied into the multiverse regardless, because Phase 4 is mainly focusing on that, because I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to go into its own Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Right? And I've seen a picture, I don't know if it's real, of Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man on the set.
Well, it's already been confirmed that Charlie Cox is going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil.
Oh, he is going to be Daredevil.
Yeah, he is Daredevil, and he already finished all of his scenes.
Thank fucking God. I love him as Daredevil. We're going to get the Kingpin.
So, yeah, apparently he's already finished up his scenes, but that, rumors are rumors, but apparently what I've read in an article, he's already done his scenes that he's been doing in there, so.
So the whole Phase 4 is going to deal with the multiverse. So it's going to be an easy way to bring in the Fox's X-Men into it. So hopefully we're going to see.
I mean, in reality, you really don't have to bring in the Fox's X-Men. Just let the Fox X-Men die and then start up the whole new.
But I love James McAvoy as Charles Xavier.
I mean, you can keep him as Professor Xavier. You can keep freaking Michael Fassbender as Magneto too. But in reality, though, if you really want to do this right, you're better off restarting the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, I don't think they should use Michael Fassbender as Magneto. It doesn't make sense for him to have those old kids for being his age. Yeah. But Professor X doesn't really age much. Yes, we get that he's old. We know that, but any depiction you see him in, he's very young. So we could probably keep him as Professor X.
Yeah. So
the Magneto one is going to be interesting. Or are they even going to have him be Quicksilver and Wanda's dad?
Right. Because now they got to make him Sokovian.
Well, no, not only that, because he's in in one storyline, I think it was the Ultimates, that they made it to where Magneto's family was affected, and Wanda and Pietro weren't. So in one reality, or one situation, that Wanda and Pietro aren't his kids.
It's a possibility.
There's a lot of ways they can go about this too.
Exactly.
So the big thing is what they're gonna do.
And we really won't get any answers as far as what's gonna really happen until we finish Wanda Vision, because this will set up a lot of different stories throughout Phase 4.
Yeah, because we're gonna get, because it's loosely based on the House of M. We have Secret Invasion kind of hinted in there, because I think we see 2 Monica Rambeaus in the trailer. It could be that they were cut 2 different ways, or one of the Skrulls impersonated her, because obviously Sword is working with the.
Well, yeah, because it's always an easy way to get behind it is just to put them.
Oh, they were a Skrull. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how we got Black Widow back. That's where she was a Skrull.
Yep, they're gonna do the same thing with Spider-Man 3 to fucking get him not be saying he's Peter Parker. And they're gonna have a Skrull be Peter Parker and Spider-Man in two different places.
At 2 different. Oh, dude, that's gonna be interesting to see.
I guarantee you, that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
And waiting for Ned to become the Hobgoblin.
Ooh, that would be fun. I would love to see the Hobgoblin. We've seen the Green Goblin a number of times. I want to see the Hobgoblin. I always thought the Hobgoblin was a cooler goblin than the Green Goblin.
Yeah, and Ned, his best friend Ned, is the Hobgoblin. So
that would be hilarious.
Yeah,
the guy in the chair becomes a supervillain.
Right. I mean, something will happen. I mean, he lost hella weight. He's getting buff to get for the Hobgoblin.
It could be possible. But there's not. I mean, other than the 2 episodes we've seen, there's a lot of mysteries that kind of unfold.
And I like it. I like the what's gonna happen next type of thing.
Yeah, and it keeps you wanting more.
Exactly.
So on a scale of 1 to 10 for Wanda Vision, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm excited for the rest of it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a good show. Breath of fresh air. I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah, it's because the MCU has its comedy, but it has a lot of seriousness to it.
Yeah.
And this is just pure comedy.
And it's supposed to be cheesy based on the era they're in.
Yeah. The jokes they were making was fucking great.
Yeah.
So, like, the next thing we're going to see is obviously what's going to happen next with the children, because Wanda's now pregnant. And we're going to start seeing her. It's probably going to fast forward a lot faster. We don't know how this is going to play out. So until next week, we really don't have anything to go on, other than the fact that we know that we're probably going to start seeing everything in color. So this is the next era they're going. I don't think they're going to go straight to the 90s. I think we're going to go to a Brady Bunch kind of style for the next 2 episodes, and then jump forward.
We really don't know until we watch it.
So the way they're structuring it is 2 episodes a week, right? Unless they decided to do one. They just now decide to do one a week.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to start seeing a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first 3 episodes are going to be establishing it. The next 3 are going to be establishing the problem and the conflicts that they're going to have to deal with, and the resolution at the end of the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So how they're going to do that is beyond me, but we're about to see a lot of craziness go on. But guys, that's all we have for this podcast today. Thank you for joining us again. If you were watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Be sure to listen to us on Spotify, not Google Playlist, and a few Breaker, Google Podcasts, and be sure to give us a review there so we can keep continuing these podcasts. And if you want to be a helper on this podcast so we can support our smoking habits, right, you can also join the fan club, as you would, for 99 cents a month. You too could support our smoking bad habits. Link is in the description below. Till next time, guys. Keep smoking.
Later, everybody.